Hey everyone, today I want to talk about a subject that I think is absolutely essential for all of us to think about, especially right now in the moment that we are in, and that is self-care. So in this video, I'm going to give you some really easy tips, some practical strategies that you can start enacting so that you can take better care of yourself and then take better care of those around you. Hi, my name is Dr. Meg Adams, and if you haven't joined me here or elsewhere across social, I am a digital storyteller, I'm a professor, I own my own media production business, and my goal is really to support storytellers as you do the work on your heart and share stories that are going to make the world a better place. So I really want to dig into some tips on self-care, and I want to start by saying I know you've heard things like take a bubble bath, get outside, like these are all really awesome things for you to do, but I want to dig a little bit deeper than that, but also get really practical about how you can take care of yourself, especially with all of the chaos going on around us. Okay, so I know you've likely heard the term self-care, and I guarantee you are either rolling your eyes behind the camera or you're about to shut this video off, but don't do that, and here's why. I really think it is important in this moment we are in right now, to talk about some deeper instances of how we can take care of ourselves so that we can be the type of person that we want to be for others, so that we can show up and take care of others, or tell the stories that we need to, or do what we need to do so that we can have the positive impact in the world that we really want to have. So the first form of self-care I'm going to talk about is really turning inward. So listening in as opposed to out. One of the things that I have done in the past few weeks that has really saved my mental health and saved probably a lot of my relationships is deleting toxic social apps off of my phone and not checking those spaces as often as I normally would. So I think everybody can likely relate to the hyped up cycle that we are in right now in terms of media. There is a lot of misinformation, there is a lot of emotion. We are in a truly historical moment, but in order for us to operate in that moment and to not get sucked into that chatter, into that divisiveness, I really feel like we have to look inward. And so by that I mean listening to yourself, listening to that person, that voice inside of you that tells you, what's the next step? Where should I be? How should I interact with this person today who I just is spouting off something that makes me viscerally rage or react strongly to? And so I think that is mindset. And so you really have to protect that. And again, that first tip has to do with listening. So focus here and pay attention to what's coming. What's coming into your world? Like, are you listening to yourself? Are you listening to or thinking about your core values and how you want to show up or who you want to be? Are you letting other outlets, other mediums, other people decide that for you? Number 2, this is the other thing that has really helped me in terms of taking care of myself, and that is to be as totally present in the current moment that I can be. And for those of you who know me in person, I hope that you're chuckling, because you know that for me personally, this is a tough one, because my inclinations, and maybe you're like this, is to always be thinking about the next thing. What do I need to be doing? How am I going to get it done? And so oftentimes, because I'm so worried about the future, I'm not focused on what's happening right now. And so that can be very overwhelming, that can cause anxiety, right? And so one of the things that I've been trying to do is just make time and make space for other people, for myself, as I mentioned in the first tip, but also just, again, to be truly present in that moment, to be fully listening to someone. And so this is something that I used to do very well, that is multitasking. I recently read a book called The One Thing that said that multitasking is a myth, that you're not doing anything well when you're multitasking. And I have started to not multitask, and I will tell you that has changed my life. It has helped me focus, it has provided clarity, and it has helped me feel less frazzled. And so right now, I think that is really important for all of us to try to do. Okay, tip number 3 really does connect to tip number 2 and number 1, but it is suspending judgment. And this is something that is incredibly hard and has become even more difficult for all of us, I think, as we head into this season of divisiveness. And so it's really easy to look at a person's Instagram feed or see something they share on Facebook and then assign a whole host of other characteristics to that person. And I would definitely urge you not to do that. To remember that we are all human beings. A lot of the things that we think we totally disagree on, like we have a lot of shared priorities. We have a lot of shared stories, and I think that's why I love storytelling so much and I study it, because this allows us to expand our perspective. It allows us to widen our lens, so to speak, of the world, so that we can encounter the world and we can experience the world and we can have rich relationships with people, like real, true, honest relationships with people, because we can see commonality despite difference. That is super hard right now. I'm being challenged by that a lot lately. But I wanted to offer that to you today as well, because I think that's another way that you can really take care of yourself and take care of the relationships that you have with others in your life whom you might disagree with. Those are my 3 tips. I'm really eager to know like what you all are doing. Again, it could be like super practical, like writing in a journal. Do you have a special journal? What times are you writing? Are you listening to certain types of music? Like, what is it that you are doing to take care of yourself? I want to know, because I want us to have this conversation, because I think it's really important to have. We're having a lot of conversations right now. Let's talk about this one. Let's talk about building each other up and making the world a better space, one story at a time. I think we can do that. I think that we can look beyond and we can connect to each other despite like what all of the like cacophony of voices are telling us right now. So let me know what you're doing. Please share it in a comment below, send a picture, whatever you want. If you want to private message me, I'd love to hear that as well. So thank you for sharing. Please remember to take care of yourself, especially as we head into the next few weeks. So if this advice was really helpful for you, I encourage you to check out other videos here or some of my social media, but I do have a group dedicated specifically for women in storytelling. It's called Sisters in Storytelling. You can join it by just searching Sisters in Storytelling on Facebook, answering a few questions and requesting it, and there you're going to get motivation, you're going to get tips, you're going to get tricks, you're going to get a community. You're going to be in a community of women storytellers who want to be there to support you. And I'm your biggest cheerleader. So go ahead and check that out. I am hoping that I will see you there soon.